So in this fourth video, looking at some of the just-in-time adaptive intervention features in the MEMA system, I want to show you how to trigger an email for a high-risk response. So you can choose to trigger an email to yourself or one of your clinical team if one of your respondents responds in a way that is clinically concerning to you, and you can choose what question that is and how it's scored. So let me show you how that works. So I'm in the momentary stress demo survey that we've been working with, and let's go to this how stressed question. Now this isn't really likely to be a high risk question, but if you're working with suicide or people who self-harm and you have a question about those behaviors, then you may consider those high risk and want your clinical team to know. But let me use this just as an example to show you how it would work. So I'm going to click in here and open up the question editing window here. And we're going to go down here, and instead of using the baseline code, which we were doing in the previous video, I'm going to hit on here, triggers message. So basically what this is saying is that the response to this question about how stressed are you feeling right now could trigger an email message to somebody on your team. So the first thing we want to tell it are what are the conditions. So that's going to work in the same way that any dependency does in the MEMA system. So we're going to put in the ID number of the question, which is here, the how stressed, that's also here. And then we're going to put in the value. So what do you consider to be high risk? So in this case, I'm going to put 4. So we're going to copy the question ID, put it in here. We need to put it in square brackets. And we're going to say if it's greater than, let's say it's equal to or greater than 4. Then we're going to send an email, and you just put in your email at university.edu, whatever your email address is in here. And you can leave the message blank. So I'll show you how you can fill in the message, but if you basically just did that and then set parameters, what would happen is that whenever somebody who is taking your survey got to this question and they answered 4 or above, so if they said they're stressed or very stressed, then an email with the default message would go to this email address, and I'll show you what the default message is. And you can then paste something in here or type something in here that will refine that message a little bit. So I'm going to click into another tab here. This is our help desk article on these auto-triggered emails for high-risk participants, which leads you through what we just did. And then at the end here, you can see you can put in various different codes that will pull out whatever pieces of this question that you want people to see. So there's an example right here. So I'm just going to copy this, and then we can kind of go through it. I'll show you what exactly this is going to do. So if you did this, then what the email that would get sent to this address would be, it would say this is an automated notification, for the participant with the mobile code. And here it would insert the mobile code of the person who had made the response. So you'd be able to go into your people finder in MEMA and see who that is. And then it says the answer to the question, and it has the question tag. So it would say, in this case, how stressed is the question tag. So the answer to the question, how stressed, was, and then it would say very stressed with a score of 5 on, and then it would insert the date of when that happened. And then, so that means that as soon as they selected that response in the survey, and that data made it up to the up to the server, which could happen automatically if you've got auto upload turned on. Otherwise it would happen whenever they submitted it to the server. Then you would automatically get an email at this address with this message. And that's it. Then you just have to set parameters and save it. And so that will happen for anybody who's taking your survey. And you'd be able to see, obviously, your emails would arrive in your email box. And that's as simple as it is.